If only Thanos was like me and couldn't snap his fingers to save his life, let alone take over the universe. This is going to drive me mad until the day I die. After 10 years and 18 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it has led to this, Avengers Infinity War. Taking place shortly after the breaking of the Avengers and the destruction of Asgard, Thanos, who has made a few cameos in previous films, is coming after the 6 Infinity Stones, some of which are in the possession of some of our heroes, and all of which will give him the power to take control of the entire universe with the snap of his fingers. So virtually all the heroes that we've come to know in the past 10 years are on a galaxy-trotting adventure to protect the stones and take Thanos down. Now, I might have been the only one, but I was not completely hyped out of my mind to see this movie. Not that I wasn't looking forward to it, but having 20 or so heroes all together in a single movie seemed like a recipe for an incomprehensible mess. I was hopeful that the Russo brothers would be able to utilize all the characters well, as they did with the dozen heroes of Captain America Civil War, which in my opinion is still the best of the MCU. Having seen Infinity War now, I have to say I'm really quite surprised. The Russo brothers found a way to arrange all the characters' screen time in a way that isn't hard to follow. Instead of having all of them fighting alongside each other, they're in groups in different parts of the galaxy on separate missions to defeat Thanos, so it's easy to keep track of everything that's going on. And all of the characters do have legitimate reasons for being there. In fact, even though most of the Marvel heroes are in this movie, not every single one of them is. As I was driving home after seeing it, it suddenly hit me that Ant-Man never showed up in the movie. And I have to commend the fact that they didn't feel obligated to shoehorn every hero into this movie, because my one major problem with Captain America Civil War is that the only evident purpose of including Spider-Man in that movie was to even out the playing field during the airport battle. However, even though all the characters have a reason for being present, this does lead to my one biggest problem with this movie. The Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sorry, they're just not funny. I cannot for the life of me understand why they're so popular. I kinda wish I had filmed my reaction to the first trailer for this movie, because up until the end, I was loving what I was seeing, and then, when the Guardians showed up, I was, quite honestly, just like Chow Yun-Fat in Dragon Ball Evolution. With one exception, none of the Guardians are any better here. Whenever they were front and center, it was the same experience as sitting through a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like I was watching a bad sitcom, and the audience I attended the screening with was the laugh track. It continues that stupid running joke from Guardians Volume 2, where Rocket the Raccoon is repeatedly referred to as something other than a raccoon, and that's as far as the joke goes. It's barely a joke. At least Taserface died in Volume 2, so we don't have to have that inane joke run into the ground anymore. But like I said, there is one exception, one of the Guardians that I started liking in this movie, and that is Gamora. As we know from their movies, she is the adoptive daughter of Thanos, and I liked that we actually got to see their connection in this film. There's one really strong flashback scene to her childhood when Thanos took her in, while massacring her community, distracting her from the panic by telling her a story about the balance to the galaxy that he aims for. The fact that this movie got me to care about any of the Guardians characters seems like quite a feat. So both Gamora and Thanos are the best developed characters in this movie. With Thanos, you really get why he thinks that what he's doing is the right thing. Between him and Eric Killmonger in Black Panther, Marvel is really stepping up their game in terms of the villains. The effects are as predictably great as ever, but there are a few character designs that are a bit unsightly. There's this one minion of Thanos's that looks like a cross between Voldemort and the amphibian man from The Shape of Water, who is weird. All of the action sequences are excellent. It's a sight to behold when Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange are all going at Thanos, who with 4 of the stones has the equivalent of all their powers combined. The film piles on one impressive set piece after another, and it builds to a sensational climax and a conclusion that will leave you shaken. If you've been on board with these movies since the beginning and been looking forward to this point, you will not be disappointed. And I know for a fact that if you're a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, you won't be disappointed. All of their jokes fall flat on their back, and I really didn't enjoy myself when they took center stage, but for the rest of the movie, I was compelled by the characterizations and the universally apocalyptic stakes. I didn't like it as much as Captain America Civil War or the first Iron Man, but it's definitely somewhere in the top third of films in the MCU. This is probably an unnecessary warning because you've more than likely seen at least most of the previous Marvel movies in these last 10 years, but this one really does require the viewing and knowledge of those previous movies. I'm going to give Avengers Infinity War a 74%. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. Like if you liked, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.